It is a split session across global markets, and the divergence tells an important story. Welcome to MTRS_Market Pulse. Here is your complete global indices roundup for July 16th. It is a split session across global markets. The move follows reports that Wall Street ends lower as Iran tensions dampen risk appetite, chipmakers drop. Let us go region by region across the major global indices. Starting with the Americas session. S&P 500 ticked up plus 0.38% to $7,572.40. Equity markets are responding to reports that stock market today, Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ rise as Apple notches record high Yahoo Finance. NASDAQ 100 slipped minus 0.28% to $29,503. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Wall Street ends lower as Iran tensions dampen risk appetite, chipmakers drop. Dow Jones is trading higher by plus 0.29% at $52,659. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 and NASDAQ end higher on cool inflation data, solid bank earnings. Starting with the Europe session. DAX dipped minus 0.58% to $24,855. The move follows reports that Wall Street ends lower as Iran tensions dampen risk appetite, chipmakers drop. FTSE 100 is trading lower by minus 0.38%, at $10,475. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 and NASDAQ end higher on cool inflation data, solid bank earnings. Starting with the Asia session. Nikkei 225 dropped sharply minus 2.79% to $66,836. Currency markets are reacting to gold prices slide as strong dollar outweighs safe haven demand MSN. Hang Seng edged higher plus 1.33% to $25,009. This comes as Y is BHP, ASX BHP, setting the pace for metal and mining stocks. Calkine Media, adding pressure to energy markets. Kospi made a dramatic move today, plunged minus 6.37% to $6,820.60. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Wall Street ends lower as Iran tensions dampen risk appetite, chipmakers drop. Nifty 50 is little changed, hovering near $24,081. Equity markets are responding to reports that stock market today, Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ rise as Apple notches record high Yahoo Finance. Sensex is little changed, hovering near $77,246. Equity markets are responding to reports that stock market today, Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ rise as Apple notches record high Yahoo Finance. ASX 200 is broadly flat at $8,840.70, awaiting a fresh catalyst. This comes as Y is BHP, ASX BHP, setting the pace for metal and mining stocks. Calkine Media, adding pressure to energy markets. Now, a look at some of India's most active stocks in the news today. HDFC Bank dipped minus 0.87% to 808.35 Indian rupees. Investor sentiment is being shaped by India's inflation moved back above the RBI's 4% target, FinMI's. The merger integration with HDFC Limited has created short-term balance sheet friction, but the long-term cross-sell opportunity in mortgages and insurance is exceptional. Retail loan book quality, particularly credit cards and personal loans, is the asset quality variable to track as the credit cycle matures. Maruti Suzuki climbed plus 1.52% to 13,790 Indian rupees. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 and NASDAQ end higher on cool inflation data, solid bank earnings. The near-term technical picture for Maruti Suzuki looks constructive. Watch the $14,342 level as the first meaningful resistance zone. A close above there on decent volume would be an encouraging sign for bulls. As always, this is analytical commentary, not financial advice. Now let us look at what is driving these moves at the macro level. On the geopolitical front, the move follows reports that Wall Street ends lower as Iran tensions dampen risk appetite, chipmakers drop. This is adding a risk premium across energy markets and supporting safe haven demand. Central bank policy is at the forefront of investor minds. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 and NASDAQ end higher on cool inflation data, solid bank earnings. Equity markets are responding to reports that S&P 500 and NASDAQ end higher on cool inflation data, solid bank earnings. And looking at how some of the biggest global names are trading today. Samsung plunged -8.77% to $255,000 in a significant session. Equity markets are responding to reports that Samsung profit surges over eightfold to beat estimates as RE boom fuels memory chip crunch. The HBM supply competition with SK Hynix is the defining story. Samsung needs to close the yield gap to win hyperscaler HBM contracts. Consumer DRAM pricing is recovering as inventory normalizes. Watch for any Nvidia or Google qualification update on Samsung HBM. Apple made a dramatic move today, surged plus 4.01% to $327.50. Investor sentiment is being shaped by Apple rises 20% in 3 months. Buy, sell or hold the stock. Trading view. The market is pricing in a multi-year AI-driven super upgrade cycle. That may be optimistic on timing, but the services business provides a floor to earnings growth. Near term, any iPhone demand commentary from Asian supply chain checks will move the stock. The Vision Pro trajectory is less relevant for near-term earnings. Rocket Lab plunged -3.31% to $76.20 in a significant session. Equity markets are responding to reports that RKLB stock rises overnight. Rocket Lab completes major engine test ahead of Neutron's first launch, Yahoo Finance. Neutron medium-lift rocket development is the key valuation catalyst. A successful first launch would dramatically expand the addressable market and justify a meaningful re-rating. Space Systems revenue from satellite components and manufacturing is a steady, often overlooked earnings base. Watch for any Neutron program update or new DoD launch contract. Let us give you our near-term view on the Kospi. The technical picture for Kospi has deteriorated. The $6,411.36 level will be critical to monitor. It represents a key line in the sand for bulls. A break below could trigger further stop-loss selling. Manage your risk carefully. To summarize, 5 indices in the green, 7 in the red today. A clear risk-off tone is prevailing across global equities. Here is what we will be watching closely in the days ahead. Keep a close eye on central bank speakers and rate commentary, and key economic data releases. Any one of these could be the catalyst that defines the next major directional move. We do the research so you do not have to hours of analysis distilled into actionable daily briefings. If that is valuable, please hit the like button. It is the single best way to support independent market analysis and help us reach more investors. Subscribe and turn on notifications for tomorrow's briefing. Drop your view in the comments. Are you bullish or bearish from here? Thanks for watching MTRS_Market Pulse. Nothing here constitutes financial advice. Please conduct your own due diligence. Good luck in the markets, and we will see you in the next video. That is your global indices roundup from MTRS_Market Pulse. Subscribe for daily updates across every major market.